Hello everyone, my name is Carlie Hamilton and I'm back again with another scrapbook process video. This one is actually in response to Dannielle Brown's 150 subs giveaway. She has prompted us to use pink, yellow and mint green on a layout. And if you do this, you go in the draw to win an awesome giveaway. So go out and check out her channel. So for this challenge, I have decided to scrap these photos here, which are actually from, this is going to be the last layout in my career album. And it's basically me going back home, and at that stage in my life, Japan was home. So this is a photo of the rice fields, which was my backyard when I was in Japan. And right now what I've been doing is I've been trying to work out how on earth I'm going to put this onto my layout. I don't really know how I'm going to lay out these photos, so I'm playing around with the different papers I've picked out for a mat. I really want those clouds to be the background, and then these papers to be maybe a mat for my photo or something. And I couldn't really decide what on earth I was going to do, how I was going to lay them out. So I decided to mat them individually. Just go ahead and chop up some paper just to get started. And I knew something would happen once I got the photo mats together, which is what I'm doing now. I use double-sided tape because I find that's the cheapest adhesive that I can get, because I seem to go through adhesive so quickly. And I've tried a lot of different rollers and tapes and things, and this way works best for me, even though it is it takes a bit more time, it's a bit more time consuming, but yeah, it's the cheapest. So I'm pretty much decided I'm gonna layer them like this now, and then I'm gonna put them on this yellow paper. Now, I know the cloud paper is from Maggie Holmes's new style board range. I'm not 100% sure where the other ones are from. They're going to be from either crepe paper or an American Crafts line, because I just bought a whole heap of Maggie Holmes and Dear Lizzie papers. Now, yellow isn't really a colour that I use too often. So that's why I am really glad for this challenge, because it pushes me outside of my colour comfort zone, and it also gets me using some embellishments that I have that I probably wouldn't put on a page otherwise, so that's a good thing. I'm trying to work out what I'm going to do with this pink paper, and I decided to just chop off some corners there, and I'll turn them into like little corner photo corners there. And I quite like that. It's simple and really easy, but I think it looks really great. And that way I get my pink into my page. I also have this washi tape, which is from Freckled Fawn, I believe. Most of my washi tape is from Freckled Fawn. I love that brand. So I decide this pink pretty much matches the polka dot in the shade. So I've got out this chevron that I'm going to stick under there. But before I do that, I realise I probably should start sticking some things down so that things don't get, things up in their place. So I'm using my double-sided tape to stick some things down. Get those photo corners attached. And then stick down the washi. I really love washi. It is really easy to use. And because you only use a little bit on each page, it's really good value for money, as long as you end up using your washi. So overall this page took about 57 minutes to make, which is a little bit long for me, but I was watching some TV shows on my computer at the same time, so that probably slowed me down a little bit. And I've stuck my photo down a little bit too well. Usually I try and stay away from the edges when I'm sticking down, just so I can tuck things under, but I didn't there. I guess I don't really think too hard about it. So I've stuck down that washi tape, and next, I can't remember what I'm doing next. I'm going to bring out my embellishments. So right next to me here I have what I call my embellishment center. And at the moment it has a whole heap of embellishments in there that I've pulled out specifically for my wedding album. Now this particular layout is for my career album, but it does feature some of the same sort of colours, the mint green and the pink I'm using. And I do know that I have some of the Dear Lizzie Daydreamer items, which you can see there, which have the yellows in them as well. So I'm looking through my embellishment box. At the moment I'm looking through my larger one, which has my bigger die cuts, my enamel dots in there, and my bigger sticker sheets. And I like to pull out lots and lots of stuff so I can see some products right there in front of me and I can start working with what I've got. I find it really fun that way to play around with all my stuff. As I said, this layout is from my career album, and it's the last page in my career album, and it's actually photos in Japan, just to confuse you. At the time I was living in Japan, and so this was the I'm home page, like back to normal life kind of page. And I think, you know, after a holiday, that great feeling of just getting home and having your own bed again, and you're like, oh, I missed you home, even though the next day you wish you were on holidays again, that there is no place like home. And that's what this page sort of represents, that it's good to be home. Now I'm going through another little box full of some smaller die cuts, stickers, vellum shapes, and you can see there I've also pulled out a doily, and credit goes to Kitty Scrapbooker for the doilies. She uses doilies in pretty much every single layout that I've seen, and I really love it. So I went out and got some doilies, and they're really, really cheap, which is great. It's the kind of price I like to see, and I think they're super cute. So I'm going to attempt to use a doily on this page. And now you can see I'm going through my dimensional embellishments box, and I've pulled out some buttons and stuff. This here is a Project Life mini kit box, and inside this box I've got all my yellow, orange and red dimensional stuff. So this is in my embellishment drawer set, which I also have another video of, and it's just beside my desk as well, so it's easy to reach over and pull it out. This one here is my yellow and orange die cuts and stickers and vellum shapes. So I don't have them in my embellishment center next to my desk because I'm not really using yellows as such in my wedding album. This is from my drawers. I've pulled out the yellows. And again, I'm just pulling out stickers and die cuts and vellum shapes, whatever seems to work, or what could potentially work on this page. So I think I've pulled out pretty much everything that I could use, and when I'm pulling out things, I never have the intention of trying to fit everything on the page. It's more of just a smaller selection of stuff so that I can start playing around with what I've got. And instantly I'm drawn to the doily, thanks Kitty Scrapper. And I get out my ink because it's a little bit too white for this page, but the brown doesn't work at all. So I get out this color. Let me just check. It is Versacolor in Celadon. Is that how you say it? It's number 60 Celadon. These are really old. I've had them for years and years, so I'm not even sure if they still make them. And I put it, I find that it needs to be a bit darker. It's still a bit too white. So I get out a sheet of paper and really pat it down. I'm just using the reverse side of one of my scraps. And I quite like that a lot. And actually by inking it, it really brought out a lot of the, I guess the embossing on it that I think it was a bit lost when it was just stark white. But yeah, it looks really good. So I'm playing around with some vellum shapes and some tags and things like that, and just placing them to see what I like. Pulling out sticker sheets and seeing if there's, you know, the elements that sort of grabbed my eye when I pulled them out initially, whether they're going to go with this. I really like that flare badge. It's of like a little instant camera. And then some other things that I put on, but I pull away because they just sort of don't... I don't really put too much conscious thought into what goes where. I just play around and I sort of, it's a feeling like, I don't like that. For instance, that vellum frame that I put on there, I was going to start a little cluster there, but it didn't feel right. So I've brought out now my box full of alphabet stickers and I'm flipping through them, trying to find something that will go. So I'm mainly looking for colors, and I'm pulling out some jelly bean soup. And I'm not sure if at this stage I have a definite title in my head, but I'm thinking something along the lines of home, finally home, and I'm also thinking of having like a little subtitle maybe, so I pull out some of my smaller alphas, you know, the square ones like that just there. And actually I've pretty much pulled out a whole heap of jelly bean soup stickers except for that last one there, which is from October Afternoon. And so yeah, I've decided maybe these pink ones. The pink is a little bit softer than the other pinks that are already on the page, but I feel like it goes. So I put down some washi tape because I feel like that the text needs an anchor. It needs something to sit on. And I'm looking again, trying to think what I'm going to write. I haven't really made up my mind which sticker sheet I'm going to use, but then I'm like, okay, I want to use these darker ones. So that I've chosen the green, I decide to add a yellow embellishment there as well, just to tie in all the colors. And I didn't stick it down straight, and I think I still haven't stuck it down straight, but it's too late. And I've decided to put Sweet Home, you know, like Home Sweet Home, but just shorten it to Sweet Home. So I'm pulling off the stickers. I like to use my tweezers with letter stickers. I just find it easier to find the right place. And this is when I realized, uh-oh, I don't have any E's at all. None in the small, none in the big. And I briefly pause as well to think I'll use those F's, those capital F's, and turn them into E's. But then I realized Sweet Home has 3 E's and 2 F's isn't going to do it. So instead I decide to use the pink. And all this time I'm thinking, oh, the green would be so much better, but it still looks good with the pink. So I've put a little button up there because I know I want to stick some kind of embellishment to the side there. So I put the blue button down just to get a measure, I guess, of where I'm going to start these words. And using my tweezers to pull off the stickers. Sometimes the little holes in the E, they like to stick. So usually I bring out my my scissors and I push out all the holes with my scissors, but obviously I wasn't there. Letter stickers can be so fiddly, and I've completely made the title wonky, and I don't know, if I had never said anything to you, you probably wouldn't notice, but there, I've said it. But oh well, I'm one of those people that doesn't really care too much about imperfection. And I really, really love this page. I think in the end it turns out really well. So even though I can see the imperfections, you know, I don't care enough to actually go back and change them. So I've decided for my subtitle just to make it Japan, and I go out with the J, but then I realize I need to work backwards just to get that spacing right, because I want it to end right at the end there. I think I probably would have put in Japan, Sweet Home in Japan, but I had run out of ends on this color stickers, so I just decided to go with Japan. Next, now that I've got my title on the page, I'm just going to finish off embellishing the page, adding a few more layers. So I'm pretty much grabbing a couple of things at random. I've already half designed this bottom corner, how I'm going to have it. So I stick down, this is a vellum, I guess, border shape, and that's from the Oh Darling collection by Crepe Paper. And I'm sticking it down with a little tiny bit of my double-sided tape in the corners. I have stuck the vellum down before with glue, and I find that it buckles and doesn't look so good. So I'm going to just use my double-sided tape from now on. I actually do have some vellum tape, but I find it shows just as much as my normal double-sided tape. So I just use my double-sided tape because it's out. And my poor vellum tape is sitting in my in a drawer down there, and I paid a lot of money for it and it's doing nothing. I cut this tag in half because I'm only going to have half of it showing, so I can use the other half on another layout. And I'm going to stick that flare in the corner there to cover up one of my bits of sticky tape for the border vellum. I decided it needs something else, so I grow out this pink, by pink I mean yellow, this yellow heart that I have. It's just a die cut, and it's from Jelly Bean Soup, I believe. And then stick down the flare. The flare is from Crepe Paper, from their Love Notes collection. And I really like that cluster. I think now what it just needs is some vellum, I've lost my word, those, completely lost the word for them, enamel dots. This here that I'm using is my Zots, they're little adhesive dots, and they're just so easy to stick down buttons. I use these my Mind's Eye enamel dots because they're the right shade of green, and I use the pink from my Dear Lizzie Daydreamer enamel dots. Now this here is a last pearl. It's a pearl from Kaisercraft or Kaisercraft. I never say that right. I'm not sure which one it is. And I want to use it on this page. The pink works. And so gloriously there I was showing off the empty packet. So happy I got to finish a packet. So there's the close-ups there of my finished page. I'm calling this one done, and I am really in love with this one. I think it is super sweet. So thank you, Dannielle Brown, for forcing me to use mint, green, yellow and pink, because I think this layout turned out really, really sweet. I really like it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this process video. If so, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye!